Hey, welcome, Just Frats viewers, and welcome to the replay. Okay. Well, this is my first day going live, and we'll give it a minute or two to see who's going to join. Usually, your first day going live, you don't get too many viewers popping in, so I'm going to have to make that happen. Grow my base of viewers, and as time goes on, we'll have some great chats. But we'll look at this video as a video a learning tool for me, what it's like going live for the first time. I'm gonna sound like an idiot quite a bit, and I'll probably screw up on handling the chat and trying to talk and focus and looking at questions. So we'll just see how it goes and have some fun, and I'll be able to make fun of myself. So those of you who don't know me, my name is Ed Frats. I own a company called Just Frats Sales Training. Now, I've been on YouTube uploading videos for the past couple of weeks so I can introduce myself to this platform. And what I do is I work with companies, work with their sales teams and leadership teams to help them grow their business, transform sales reps into sales professionals with training programs I have. I also do private coaching with sales reps and leaders if their companies are unable to bring me in as a trainer. So I do a variety of different things. I'm also a guest speaker for sales teams that do companies that have kickoffs, and I'll come in and talk to their sales teams each year. So I have a pretty good, I've been doing this on my own for about 8 years, but I've been in the sales industry since the early 80s. So I think what makes me a little bit unique, I'm able to talk about all the mistakes and the screw-ups I made so the people that's in front of me could avoid those same mistakes. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully this live stream will be valuable to you. Besides just talking sales and business, I usually pick a topic. I'll answer any questions that you have, though. And the topic that I have is today we're going to talk a little bit about networking. A lot of people they go to networking events and they don't know what to say. They go to networking meetings each week, and they're told to do a 30 or 60-second commercial, and they really don't know how to present themselves. So I'm going to cover a little bit about that. I'm a big baseball fan, sports fan. We talk sports. Baseball season kicked off yesterday, so that was a big day for me. And I like burgers and I like steaks. So we will talk about burgers and steaks on this show whenever I get the chance. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about the Yankees. Now, this year, the Yankees were expected to go to the World Series and win it. I believe they're one of the favorites out of Vegas. And I do know that they're dealing with the Boston Red Sox. Now, the Red Sox, their team is solid, but they did lose a little bit of their bullpen. Their bullpen is not as strong as last year. So I'm just, excuse me 1 second. I'm going to go to my iPad, and just so I could open up to make sure I'm not missing any kind of chat when people join. So I'm just taking care of some business here. But the Yankees bullpen probably has a chance to go down as the best ever in history. So that's something that is going to be pretty impressive to watch. They have probably 5 guys on the team that could be closers for other teams. And these guys are coming in the 6th and 7th inning. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. In just 1 second. That's something that the rest of baseball is going to have to deal with in the American League is this bullpen. The starters just got to go 5-6 innings, and then it's going to be lights out. after that. And that happened yesterday. Tanaka went into the 6th inning, and then the bullpen started. And I think the 3 relievers that came in yesterday gave up no hits and struck out a bunch. So it's going to be an exciting year for the Yankees, and going against the Red Sox. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. The Mets, we're not a big Mets family here, but across town, DeGrom came out and he was lights out against Scherzer. That was a phenomenal game to watch. Not a lot of hits, just a lot of strikeouts. So you got DeGrom coming off of a big contract extension. He signed last week, I think $137 million. So he made sure he earned the dollars yesterday. The 2 guys that didn't come out of the gate strong that was Machado and Harper. I think they went 0 for 6 for combined with 4 strikeouts. So I'm assuming they're hoping that their second game of the year will be a little bit more productive. And there's just a lot of pressure on those guys. They signed such big contracts. I'm sure they wanted to do well yesterday, and it just didn't happen. Philly, man, they love Harper in the 1st inning. The cheering that they gave him. By the end of the game, if you listen to the game, when he struck out twice already and he walked, there was some boos in the stands. Bryce, you're in Philly. You signed a 12-year or 13-year contract. Get ready. It's not going to be all cheers for you for the next 13 years. Good luck there. So that was a big day for me. Opening day has always been big. I always enjoyed opening day, and that was because of my dad. My dad would get me out of school a little bit early. That was always fun. And then being home, hanging out with him, playing a little hooky from school, watching the first pitch, that's a memory I'll always have. And I had the opportunity to call my dad yesterday during the Yankee game, talking, a little baseball on opening day, and having to do that with my son, creating memories for him. I hope that he could carry down the tradition in years to come with his kids. So opening day was big. As far as other sports go, it was huge. NCAA basketball was going on last night, so there's a lot going on. Duke and North Carolina played tonight. And it's really weird. All the years those 2 teams have been in the NCAA tournament, they've never faced each other. This year, if they win all the way to the end, they actually could face each other for the first time, and it would be in the championship game. And that would shatter ratings for any basketball game ever played. So that's going on in the upcoming starting tonight. Those 2 play. I think Gonzaga won last night, another 1 seed. So it's just crazy fun time. We got basketball going on, a lot of football, free agent signings, and the draft is coming up. So it's a fun time for you sports fans. Now let's talk a little business. Now, I've had people tell me, Ed, I been told by my boss to go to networking events, and I listen to them. I go. They tell me to get involved in networking groups. I listen to them. I go. And they're not successful. I don't know what to say. I sit in the corner. I don't talk to anyone. When I do talk, I'm sort of stumbling and bumbling. And I'm a good employee, but these events are really tough. And I go because I'm told to go. And then my boss goes, well, how'd it go? And I said, well, I gave out a lot of cards, and you didn't talk to anyone. And here's your problem. You weren't trained on what to do at a networking event. And that's okay. I'm going to, I could help you right now. And at these events, it's a little tricky. It's different. When you're talking to a client, you met them on, you've met them once before. You sit down in their office. You talk about things that they need fixed. You talk about your product, on how you're going to address their needs. And then you're going to sell them a product. Networking event is a little bit different. You're going into a room or a function that might have 50 or 100 people, and you don't know anyone. And so they're all strangers. And you've been told to walk up to these strangers, introduce yourself, and get an appointment with them. That is very challenging for quite a few people. And without proper training, those events you will crash and burn every single time. And you end up staying in the corner with your glass of cheap wine and you're drinking cubed cheese at these events, like a chamber after hours event. And you're just sitting at this table hoping somebody comes up and talks to you. And when that happens, you feel good and you don't want that person to leave because that might be the only person you talk to in the next 2 hours. So what you need to do is make sure that you have a game plan. You need to understand what your talk track is, meaning what are you going to say when you meet someone? And you have to have a strategy to attack this room. And this is not taught in most organizations. They just tell you to go make a presence, get yourself out there. And most employees are good employees and they listen to their boss and they go. And they get there and say, "Man, I really wish he told me what to do once I get here." So here's what you do. First, you need to understand what your talk track is. Your talk track is what you do for a living. And people say, "Well, Ed, I sell phones for XYZ Wireless." And no, that's what it says on your job description, but what do you do? Okay. And people scratch their heads like, I just sell phones. And I keep asking them, "What do you do?" And they say, "I sell phones." And then I'll say, "Well, what do you do for companies?" "Well, my product helps corporations lower their overtime payroll expense." So that's what you do. You work with businesses to decrease expenses. That's what you do. And you have a product that's going to assist that. So that's the first thing you need to understand. What do you do? Once you're able to put that in a sentence and master that and feel confident, you could be convincing when you're talking to people. And at these networking events, these people need to understand what do you do is a lot more important than what do you sell. They need to understand on what impact are you going to have on their company if you want them to invite you in to meet with them and to understand and to present your product. And if you can't come across in such a way, you really are wasting your time. If you're there just to talk about how you have a deal on a certain product, you're going to have a hard time getting a conversation going, and you're going to have a hard time keeping their attention because they will move on to someone they want to meet that's going to impact their company in a positive way besides just pushing a product on them. So once you've accomplished what do you do, then you have to probably have a couple examples on how you've helped other companies. So if I am working at XYZ Wireless and I help one of my products helps decrease overtime payroll expense in the construction industry, and now it's time, that's what you do. Now it's time to tell them a story. And you just tell them a story. They say, "Listen, one of my construction clients added this product to their account last year, and it decreased their overtime expense by $33,000. When you have stories like that, it's very impactful on the person who's in front of you, because when they hear $33,000, they're thinking right at that moment what they could do with an extra $33,000. Now, some people might want to say, "Wow, I could go buy that sailboat or go on that vacation." Or they might say, "I could buy another vehicle and develop another route and increase my sales." So when you have that story, you're bringing it to life on what you do, besides just saying what you do. And that story will translate to them. It's like, "I could use an extra $33,000. And after that, all you have to say is, "When you be in agreement to meet with me for 45 minutes to see if I can do the same thing for you." It's hard to say no to that. If you say no to that, you just told them, "I don't need extra money." So having this talk track and having confidence in what you do and what you say is vitally important when you go to a networking event and you watch when you present yourself in such a way on how you impact companies and you have stories to back it up, people are looking forward to continuing this conversation with you for you to get into their company to see if you could bring those same kind of results. Now, the other thing that you need to be able to do at these events is to see if you could bring value to them, meaning how can you help them meet clients? A lot of times people go, and I just feel so funny going up and walking up to somebody and starting a conversation. So here's what you feel funny about: going up and saying, hey, I want you to hear about my business and I want you to meet with me so I can sell you something. That's what you're thinking. That's weird. I can't do that. So just walk up to them, introduce yourself, and say, listen, tell me what an ideal lead is for you, an ideal customer. I know some of these people in this room. Maybe I can introduce you to them. And they're so relieved that you walked up to them and asked them that question. Once you do that and you find out what the ideal lead is for them, what do you think they might ask you? Probably the same question. And then all of a sudden, this conversation that felt a little weird to start, you're off to the races. And between the two of you, you're going to find out shortly if you can help each other. If not, you can't. You wish them luck at the event and you move on to someone else. But here's a problem that a lot of people do at these events. They start talking about things that's not business related. They'll talk about the Super Bowl, the baseball game, the latest trade that happened. They'll talk about politics. They'll talk about anything but business. And before you know it, we spent a half hour with one person, and it's a 2-hour event, and there's 100 people in the room. And you're not going to get any business that way. So you got to stick to a mindset that you're there to introduce yourself to people who want to hear about how you help companies and how you impact them. And then they're going to want to hear about a story that really how you affected a company with that concept. And when you do that, people will want you to come into their company for you to be able to present to them. Now, networking is hard to do. A lot of people think it's easier than making phone calls. It's not. You have to have the same mentality. I have to have a talk track. I got to bring value, and I have a short period of time to do it. And I better bring it in such a way that I capture their attention for 2 minutes to earn the right for them to invite me into their company for 40 minutes. And if you're there just looking to hand out business cards, you're going to waste 2 hours of your life that you're never going to get back. You do the same thing if you're at networking weekly meetings instead of an event. You go to a breakfast every week, like a BNI group, which is a Business Networking International, and you meet other business people there an hour every Wednesday morning, and you'd be shocked that when people go there, they're given a 30 or 60-second moment to stand up to talk to the group, to give a commercial about you or your company, and people aren't prepared for that. They repeat the same one every single week. They mumble, they stumble, they laugh, they giggle, and they never get the quantity of leads that they deserve. These are all about receiving referrals in these meetings and giving out referrals. And if you're not prepared to speak, why are you going? So it goes back to the same thing. Who you are, how you help companies, and give a story. And then tell that group what an ideal lead is for you for that week. And you got 30 seconds in some groups, 60 seconds in another group. But if you go there not prepared, why would I give you a lead? If you're not prepared to talk to me, why would I want to send my friend to you? So you really got to be on top of your game, besides just checking the box that you go to networking events and hoping that you get something. Because if you're using hope as a technique to get in, to get an appointment, to get into the company, believe me, you will fail in sales. Now, that being said, that was my business tip of the day. for this stream. Each stream that I do, I will pick a topic. Also, topics could change based on who joins me in the chat room or in the chat that will ask me questions. I'll answer anything that you might have. Now, I told you I'm going to talk about burgers. Now, if you watched my last video that I uploaded, I talked about I'm going to reveal the best burger joint in the county of Palm Beach County down here in South Florida. Now, if you live down here and never heard of this place or been there, you need to go. You need to make sure you find a way to get there as quickly as possible. Now, you might even want to Uber there because they have about 220 different kinds of whiskeys. So of everything you could think of, they got it. They even have, you could get a shot of Pappy Van Winkle, one of the hardest whiskeys to get a hold of. I think it costs about $55 a shot. So they got everything there. But I go there for the burgers. Their burgers are 10-ounce burgers. They're phenomenal. And they're all a little bit different. They use different kinds of cheeses. Some of them have onions, eggs, mushrooms, you name it, they got it. And they're very creative on how they're made and what in the name of them. Now, I think I got a picture I want to pull up of what this burger looks like. Now, the name of this place is called Grease. Okay. Now, that's it. The name of the burger place is Grease. It's in West Palm. So just Google it. You pull up their menu. It's crazy. Now, this one is their pecan bacon burger. Okay. And that's, man, the light glare. There we go. You can see it there. That is the pecan bacon burger. I'm allergic to nuts, but the people that I've gone with that have had this burger, they say it's something they've never tasted before. It's just outstanding. They do a lot of different things with bacon. They have an oak bar that doesn't stop. Okay. It just goes on forever. And I guess if you're serving over 200 different kinds of whiskeys, you better have enough chairs. All right. There's their front cover of their, and I'm sorry about the lighting. I'm trying to put it on an angle there. Their burger is unbelievable. They brand the name Grease right into their bun. Their fries, they have these truffle fries that it's outstanding. And so to me, this is the best burger joint in Palm Beach County, probably in South Florida. And by the way, it's ranked number 6 on the Travel Channel of best burger joints in the country. So the one I get is the Ron Burgundy burger, which is a burgundy sauce with mushrooms and I can't even think of the name of the cheese. It's a crazy cheese. My son gets the burger from Another Mother, which is a blended meatloaf burger with 2 different kinds of bacon, fried onions on it, and 2 different kinds of cheese, if I'm not mistaken. So it is the best burger joint I recommend that you check out. If you're vacationing in South Florida, this place you're going to want to see. You're going to want to make sure that you're able to get up to West Palm and get in there. You're going to love it, and you'll be a repeat customer. If you live down here, you're going to have a hard time leaving that place because once you get in there, you just want to stay there and eat the burger, digest it, because you're probably going to want another one. And so you probably end up hanging out there a couple of hours. They have 20 TVs. It's just a beautiful place to hang out besides getting great food. They have other things on the menu besides burgers. They have some great sandwiches. They have a burger that's in between 2 grilled cheese sandwiches. So it's just like it's, you're going to probably want to Uber there because it's an uncomfortable ride home, especially if you had a couple beers. I think they have over 100 craft beers there too. So they got something for everyone. All right. So check out Grease in West Palm. You're really going to enjoy it. I want to thank, if you are watching the replay, thank you so much that you spent some time. I hope that the business that topic that we talked about can help you. If you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. Just shoot me an email, ed@fratst.com, and I'll definitely will get back to you. If your company is looking for a trainer, let me know. If you think the results could be improved upon, I'm definitely have some classes that can make a difference in the sales reps' lives. Remember, my goal is to turn sales reps into sales professionals. And if you don't know the difference, you might want to reach out to me. There's definitely a difference between a sales rep and a sales professional. And I really would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. That would be nice. And also hit the notification bell. Anytime I go live or upload a link or upload a video, you'll get a notification that I went live or I brought some new information on another video. So hit the notification and please share it. If you think I'm a waste of time, my apologies. Don't share it. All right. Don't get your friends upset if you think I didn't bring any value. But I talk a little bit about everything. I hope that you have a great weekend, and we'll talk soon.